Welcome to the Story Tinker podcast, a place for in-depth analysis of stories, mainly from Webtoon. Co-hosted by sharp, witty, and dare I say, thirsty fans, we dive deep in every episode, analyzing character struggles, relationship development, and of course, theories. We also interview people working in creative industries. You can follow the Story Tinker on YouTube, podcast platforms, and social media. For bonus content, sneak peeks, and more, you can support the Story Tinker on Patreon. We're really appreciative of your likes, subscribes, follows, comments, and ratings on all platforms. Thanks for listening to the Story Tinker, and let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 155 of Let's Play. And today we have Josalynn and 𝗕cie. And this is 𝗕cie's first time, so welcome, and let's hear a few words.
Thank you, Mindy, for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is 𝗕cie Sharma. I'm from India, and I'm a computer engineer, and I love reading books and webtoons a lot.
That's funny. So you must relate a little bit. Do you relate to like the coding part with Sam?
Yeah, really, in the beginning, like what she goes through, all that meme stuff and all that mathematical formula, I was like, yeah, I went through that.
Wow, that's really cool to hear that. Awesome. All right, so.
And I'm Josalynn. I'm Angeli Joss on Instagram, and I'm happy to be here.
Yep. Awesome. So let's get right in. This episode comes on the heels of our very steamy episode last time where Sam and Charles finally slept together. And we just have a little recap of the way that Charles lost control right before they ended up having sex. So, and then we start off, and Josalynn, you can take it away.
Okay, so previous on Let's Play. We don't have to do anything else. How does that sound, love? That sounds nice, Charles. But even though I'm nervous, I still want, and then we see Charles, tell me what you want, Bunty. I want you, all of you. And then we see the chain lifting and dropping. And now we continue.
Yeah. Every time someone says, tell me what you want, I always think, yes, so tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Yeah, it kind of goes through your head. So they're walking to the office, and they're in the elevator. It says, in her mind, she's thinking, my body feels so worn out. I'm also starting to feel sore. And then, Charles looks over and says, is I too much for you, Samara? You seem to really be struggling. I hope you're not simply being polite.
When he said that, I was wondering, like, did she vocalize that? And I went back and checked because I was like, how does he know that she's feeling sore?
Charles is caring,
Yeah, she kind of looks like she's thinking that also. So she's like, she's got her eyes closed.
Yeah, they probably didn't get much sleep either.
Yeah. So she says, I hope you're simply not being polite. By not telling me how you honestly feel. And you could see like Charles's face is really worried. And Sam seems to pick up on that. And she thinks, he seems really worried about me. Am I acting weak again? Or maybe he's afraid he hurt me? Should I reassure him? And so she decides to reassure him. I'm okay, Charles. Last night was a real workout, and I'm not in the best shape, I guess.
I find it interesting that, for her, it's very clear that being physically weak is a part of her psyche, because I would never think to myself, I'm acting weak. It just it's not something that happened to me. It wasn't something I experienced in my life, but it must be a big deal for her that her body was always weak.
A miracle baby son is,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big part of her identity, how she approaches the world.
Exactly. And then she says, but I would still do it last night all over again. Only maybe I'd be less nervous. But when my body trembles for that long, it could really wear me out. And because she's like on his chest, she hears his heart, and it's beating so quickly.
It's interesting. I thought
slow and steady. So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought she was
like sore because of the sex, but turns out she's tired because of the trembling.
Because of trembling. Yeah, she was so nervous.
Or maybe he started thinking of his ex-wife or something. His feelings were actually coming for Sam, I guess, you know?
Yeah, I think so too. I think that as much as he's trying to deny and pretend he doesn't have them, like he really does.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I really mean.
Yeah. Okay, so, and she also points out here that she finds like his, you know, regular beats are slower and steady, which is kind of the way he's been for, you know, for the whole series. But I feel like since we saw like he's being unbound a little bit, like, I don't know, everything, little things she does, it's like pulls on him a little bit more, which I think is sweet. Anyways, and then the next panel says, his expression seems so cold. Is he withdrawing? But for us, we kind of see a little bit of a blush there. So
And a clench.
yeah, and a clench, exactly.
He's trying to control himself.
Yeah, like don't just go at it or whatever. And then she's like, I forgot. He said we shouldn't be close at work. So
Yeah, and now you can take over.
Okay. Like, can I say just one thing before I begin? Like,
Of course.
Charles is one of my favorite characters in all Webtoon. Like, I wish he was real. I really want.
You're join the long list of many ladies who wish Webtoon men were real.
Yeah. So, last night he was so intimate. He ran his hands over every part of my body. Like they're all just, you know, like Sam's body is so weak. You can see that, like her body is shivering, and his mouth was not far behind. I was scared and embarrassed. I don't know. I'm feeling embarrassed while reading it.
Yeah, right? It's very, you know, it's very explicit. And his mouth was not far behind him. Yes, we have a vivid picture.
Author is putting all the details. Like she's literally putting all the details. I was scared and embarrassed. I wanted to hide, but he wouldn't let me. Tamara, don't hide, love. I want to see those expressions on your beautiful face. And don't hold your voice. I want to hear all the sounds you make. Oh my God. Can you see? He's being so upfront, and
Yeah.
he spoke to me tender. Like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I definitely, you know, I don't know if it's TMI, but when I first started, you know, having relations with my husband, I was also way too embarrassed to be vocal. And over time, my husband also was like, he likes it when I make noises because it means he's doing a good job. So yeah. Yes, I learned to be much more expressive.
Yeah, it's
He
the same
spoke
thing.
to me
She's
tender.
nervous because it's like her first time, you know, and I guess like, you know, nobody tells you how to act during these things. And so he's just like, I guess he's just guiding her in a way, like he wants that. So yeah, I think it's actually kind of nice to be told, okay, you can do this, it's okay, you know, it's sweet.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was her first time, like after so many years having a strict dad, strict parents, you know, a brother, and it was her first time at all. He spoke to me tenderly. He wouldn't let me feel afraid, and he made me feel special. Wow, this is good.
Aww.
Blushing, looking down, and wanted to say something but can't, and sweating a little. And oh heck, I got myself worked up by thinking about all of that. Your
Yes,
fingers are
I love how,
to be
you
fair.
know, what she said, you know, at that last episode, like right after she's like, oh, when can we do it again? So yes, when you have finally tasted the joys of sex, you want, you know, it's something
Let's
you
do
want
that
to
again.
explore.
Yeah.
And now she's already, I mean, it's the next day, like time for a replay.
And I have to say the little chibi drawing of her like going like, it's just too cute. I love it.
Yeah, it's so relatable, you know, like in everyday life, we think something, we start doing our hands, like pointing to
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. That's another reason I wear all my rings, because I'm always like, I have to do something with my fingers. So I always like, I twist my rings or put them up and down.
Even,
Yeah.
even I just do like this, up and down, up and
Yeah.
down. To be fair, Charles did make his instance on things very clear while Charles is adjusting his tie, and we look back to the flashback. Like we go back to the flashes that the conversation we had in the season 2, I guess, and from the last few episodes in the car. So I mean, you have to take over from here, or
Yeah, one of the elevator things. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, got it. Okay. So where do we go from here? What happens now? We have few options. We could walk away and pretend like nothing happened. You can continue to be my assistant or go back to the development team like you stated. Or we or or sorry, or we could acquiesce to our baser emotions and allow the situation to develop organically. However, I want to be very, I mean, could you help me a little pronunciation in this?
It's
I'm
succinct.
sorry, like
Distinct.
very
Yeah.
very
Succinct.
second Samara. I'm not look I'm not looking for a companion. If you are hoping for anything serious to develop between us, then I am afraid I will have to disappoint you. Oh my god, I can't take this. Like no one can. You are a very special woman, Samara. I mean, you are highly intelligent, tremendously kind and beautiful, and you deserve someone more emotionally available than a man like me. I am a bit of a cantankerous, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Old goat anyway. You would be better off giving your affections to another, less jaded man. Ding.
This really, I mean, seeing it in flashback and coming back to it, and it's just kind of sad almost because of like, since he said that, I feel like a lot of has changed. Like he's open more to the like he cares for her even more than I feel this takeaway is. I mean, she remembers it like that, but she doesn't know how she affected him, you know?
Yeah, he's making himself emotionally, inclined to her or attached to her,
Yeah, for sure. So,
Yeah, I do appreciate, I think it's very important that he was mature enough to tell her from the beginning, because a lot of men whose emotions are locked away don't even recognize it in themselves, and they willingly or not lead people along, and then the woman is like, oh, but I love you, and he, at some point realizes, wait, I'm not available. So Charles at least is very upfront. He's like, no, I can't do relationships now.
Yeah. He's understanding the Sam situation too, not only thinking about himself.
Right, exactly. Which shows his ultimate redeemability, in my opinion, in our hopeful opinion.
yeah.
So elevator dings, and she says, after Umed young, she jumps, and she's continuing to ponder this concept. She thinks, it's not like I'm asking for a relationship, and I know we're supposed to be professional at work, but does he have to be so cold? And is it wrong for me to feel this way? I tried to reassure him, but ended up making myself feel insecure. And which I feel bad for her, because like we all saw this coming, where one, she would be attached and he wouldn't be able to reciprocate, and that leads for, heartbreak.
I don't think she knew what she was in for until it happened, because, it is such a strong thing to give yourself up, like body and mind and all that, and then to be like not with them, and yeah, you have an attachment for sure.
Yeah, you're letting someone get close to you so much, like so close. Like you wouldn't let anyone before Charles. I think Sam never did let anyone did come close to her.
Not in that much of a vulnerable way, for sure.
Yeah.
Nope. And then she looks back and wonders, I wonder what he's thinking right now. And she looks at him, his eyes are shut, he looks very steely, and she thinks, yeah, he's definitely shut down. I guess that's just how it's going to be. Which, you know, at least recognizing the word shut down, the term shut down, it doesn't mean emotionless. It means he has emotions that he's controlling and clamping on. So I'm glad that she's able to recognize that it's not just that he doesn't feel anything for her, but he's controlling it.
Yeah, and it's office, so he's hiding it, or
Yeah. But it's funny because the first panel, it's like he's normal, his face. But anyway, I guess I'll let you continue, but you can see it builds. So
yeah, so you know, after she turns away, we see that, you know, he has the same expression, but he's sweating, and it looks like he's really exerting himself, and we are proof because he opens his eyes and we have the chains behind it again, and he looks extremely steely in that last one.
and the chains behind this is perfect.
Panel. Yes.
Yeah, like it's hard for him to be so reserved right now, for sure.
Yes. And he's blushed too, right? If you look closely.
Yeah, there's some blush there.
Whew. So now we have an office meeting, and Umed is standing up and he says, I think we should all give ourselves a pat on the back. It's great that we're so ahead in the Ellesemere project. I think we've cranked out this project faster than any other. But let's not try to get too sloppy either. And Sam rushes in. I'm so sorry I'm late. Mr. Kingsley called and I had to take care of his concerns. Was Mr. Kingsley the guy who insulted Charles before?
I think so.
I mean, the question is
the one that she took over the phone call.
Yeah, I remember.
I think it is.
We'll check. And in which case that would show some professional development on her part, that she's stepping up to the plate and dealing with customers and social development, something she was normally intimidated by. Well, whoever it is, even if it's not Mr. King, even if it's not that guy, it definitely shows that progression. And they're like, no worries, Sam, we're almost done anyway. And then she sits down and says, she's like, or something, somewhat lewd holler.
I love that she had to specify somewhat lewd holler. I like that a lot.
I'm sort of wondering what a lewd holler sounds like now. Okay, I can't.
More like a, I don't know.
Charles is blushing and like stricken, and she's like, oh, that hurt, I'm really sore. And then she turns around and notices that everyone is looking at her, and there's this awkward silence. Oh dear. And she tries to save the situation. It's like, I worked out yesterday and I'm sore. And Jacob, right? That's his name? Like, sounds like you really worked your core, my dude. Maybe do some stretching next time. Right, I'll keep that in mind next time. Oh boy. Do you think the whole office is like aware?
I think they may have a clue now that like they're both blushing like crazy.
Right.
I mean, Charles didn't say anything yet, so.
Yeah, if Charles hadn't blushed, it might be less suspicious, but he is beet red.
Yeah, tomato, yeah.
And Umed's like, anyway, as you know, the animal blood drive is today. 𝗕𝗠cie clear with Mr. Young. For those who donate, he wants to treat you to a steak meal with the company credit card. And Charles was like, what? A blood drive is today? Yeah, 𝗕𝗠cie put out flyers 4 days ago. Didn't you see them all over the place? Mr. Young said you can use your company card to treat everyone while he's away. He also said he expects you to lead the charge in donating today. And Charles was like,
he went from red to blue in 2 panels, like.
Like, is there something, a relation, like something science is involved or biology is in, like some reason is involved for the blood drive, like why he's so scared of sudden blood drive?
So I had actually forgotten. Apparently back in 72, he tells Sam that he's afraid of needles. He doesn't do well with needles.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, and Sam like, Charles, are you okay? Uh-oh. So what do you think is going to happen next episode? How do you think Charles is going to handle the needles?
I have a feeling like, you know, he he made her kind of face her fears in a way. I think she might do the same for him in this instance. I mean, she's used to being in a hospital, being poked and prodded on and all that stuff. So I think maybe she's gonna try to, I don't know, help him face it for sure.
Like the same way back in the hospital, right? When she was getting injection, I guess.
Yeah.
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 Oh, that's a good point.
So
Do you think, yeah, I was thinking more that she'll try to comfort him, but yeah, I think you're right. And, you know, kind of pushing him out of his comfort zone would be a, you know, parallel to what he does with her.
Yeah, I mean, didn't she help another kid in the hospital also to like not feel as afraid of being there and all that?
Yeah, Link, I guess. Didn't she help Link back then?
Yeah, Link, exactly.
Yeah.
So it must be. I mean,
think
I don't know, or maybe not. Maybe he's gonna handle it so badly, but still has to do it because it's part of the leading the charge or whatever. So
or you know, maybe like something happens like when Sam comforts Charles during the process, then the office people, like the employees, will see like Charles and Sam may have come closer. Like, you know, that I'm just predicting it, nothing else.
yeah, we don't know.
Yes, and maybe we'll get back to Mr. Young, who already knows anyway, but more verification.
Yeah, or maybe she'll lead the charge. I don't know. She's been doing so much better at work, like being part of the company, and you know, not that she wants to take over, but that like it's part of the image of being, you know, part of it. So maybe she'll say, no, I'll do it first. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one. That would be good growth on her part.
Yeah.
I
All in
really
all-
like the twist. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go.
I mean, I just said want to say that author really, I'm sorry, I really like the twist that the author came up with, you know, blood drive test, because we didn't see it coming, and suddenly a situation will come where Sam or Charles will get closer, or something, you know, good will happen, or something interesting, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes us have to go back through the episodes going like, was he afraid of needles too? It kind of like, oh yeah, you know.
And up till now, Sam has been the one to be vulnerable and scared, and Charles has always been the strong one. So for him to flip a switch might help him open up more.
True.
Yeah. And the
This
employees will also see. Go ahead.
No, I shouldn't do that. I should raise my hand or something. Go ahead.
I mean, like at this time, like in this blood test drive happens, the people, like the employees, will see how vulnerable Charles is, because we already have seen him very, you know, composed, calm, and, you know, like only focuses on his work, nothing else. So a side which is vulnerable about him will come to the play this time.
So actually, speaking of which, I think this would make a good bonus question, since I sense somehow that you are a big Charles fan. Do you want to do a Charles appreciation bonus video?
Oh yeah, I would love to. I would love to.
Okay.
Thank you so much to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Lipress, Lily, Jenny, Haley, Maria, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Joe, Rochelle, Saucy Tuggles, Meg, and Rose, Priya, Alexa, Misty, Laura, Joanne, Patty, Emilda, Esther, Machingi People, Taurus, Poppy Seed, Marie, Jen, Emily, Jean, Jen, Erin, D, Kate, Lily, Beckett, Saranda, Christine, Sadie, Kelly, and Daniel. Your support is truly appreciated.